next guest is considered by many observers to be the greatest catcher in baseball history. He is also the host of the Emmy Award-winning Baseball Bunch, a program which is seen nationally on Saturdays during the baseball season. Here now is a clip from that program. Watch carefully, if you will.
Well, I guess my changeup didn't fool you that time, huh, Johnny?
Changeup? I thought that was your Peggy Lee fastball. Is that all there is? Then let's keep swinging. Is that all there is? Then let's keep swinging.
Kind of the ugly side of baseball. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench. Boy, oh boy. I used to, I told you this before, go down, this was the days of the big red machine. Lee May and Tony Perez and yourself.
Tommy Helms.
Tommy Helms.
I brought some more clippings. I didn't know if you wanted to...
a little more, okay, we'll get a look at this a little bit later.
Maybe.
Oh, that's cute. Now that's a little boy and a dog. And no, it is.
That was when you were at Ball U, right?
Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana. Yes, sir. Home of the Cardinals. Yeah. Well, we won't get into that. But anyway, it's a real thrill to meet you. Now, you always Binger, Oklahoma, right? 660
people. Oh, you obviously following the Steamrollers is tough, but George Burns, 87 years old, and my grandmother's just turned 87. And my other grandparents had their 65th wedding anniversary the other day.
Good heavens!
So maybe they'll get part of the book or something.
65th? What,
65 years. They're 85 and 83.
How is that something you want to celebrate? 65 years of marriage? Wow!
I'm working on a year.
Anyway, Binger, Oklahoma, small town. Now, but you always knew you were going to be not just a major leaguer. You had a pretty good idea you were going to be world class, huh?
Well, my father was a ball player, and he wanted all the kids that were born to him basically to be ball players. And so I made a C in penmanship in 5th grade, and I was very disturbed about it. So I knew that if people read my autograph and they couldn't understand what it said, I was what good is an autograph? So I used to go down to Texaco Station with Ford McKinney, and I'd sit after school and write my name. He still has a cigar box full of autographs.
So you practicing
here in New York, you would go for $4.50 a piece, but
Ford McKinney?
Ford McKinney, Texaco. We call him Texaco.
Well, what's he doing now?
He's working down the oil fields down in Texas.
Yeah.
Probably back home now because it's kind of run dry on him.
Now, when you went up, you didn't play minor league ball, did you? Or
I played 2.5 years. I started when I was 17. Got out of high school and caught a plane to Tampa, Florida. And got off the plane at 9 o'clock. One of the pitchers picked me up, took me to the ballpark, and I caught the 9th inning of the ball game.
Yeah.
Woke up the next, didn't have a place to stay. Had, one pair of slacks, and the rest were jeans. Went over, stayed with some of the guys in the apartment. Woke up the next morning, 17, major pro ball player,
Yeah.
Woke up, clothes were still on the floor, breakfast wasn't ready, and I wanted my mommy.
That's a tough thing. 17 years old, all of a sudden thrown in with the Wolves there. When you go out to the mound to talk to the pitcher, you ever have any difficulty understanding the signals? You're running the show pretty much, aren't you?
Well, I'm in charge. There's times when a pitcher should shake me off, I think, just to get a different pattern, but, like certainly our pitchers, most of them are trained now, but back in the old days when Pedro Borbon, you probably saw Pedro pitch, but Pedro would tell you, I tell you 6 times, I'm not going to tell you 7. We go through spring training, it'd be for, spring training is 6 weeks, and we go through spring training, and we always had these signs, pumps after 2, so we could, decoy and confuse the runners at second base.
I'm sorry, what did you say, pumps after 2?
Pumps after 2. So if you put 2 fingers down, you start counting after that, okay?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you a sign. There's 1, that don't count. Now you start counting. So you gave 3 signs after the finger 2. So that's the 3rd pitch that they would have, fastball, curveball, slider. So we'd go through this for 6 weeks. Now, Pedro, of course, opening day, we'd walk out to the mound. They'd finally call him in, and he'd call me out to the mound and say, first sign, go first sign. And that's the way it went all year long. But we got into the 75 World Series when we played Boston. Now, Will McEnany has been with us since spring training, so we've been together 6 months, almost 7 now. And we got Fred Lynn up to the plate. I called 2-3-1-3. It's a slider. I'm ready. Will's left-handed, so it's going to break out this way. Fred Lynn's left-handed, so it's breaking away from him. So I'm ready to catch the slider. He throws a fastball inside, and I might knock it down. I doubt that I keep the run from scoring. The bases are loaded. Yeah. I mean, we're in the sixth game as it is, and that turned out bad enough. But Fred Lynn swung at the pitch, popped it up down the left field line. George Foster goes over, catches it. Now, Denny Doyle's on third base, and Don Zimmer is the third base coach. And Don is saying, no, no, no. And Denny thought he said, go, go, go. So now he takes off. George Foster throws a one-hopper to me. I tag Doyle out, double play. We still got, there's 2 outs, and we didn't have any outs in the inning. So I called time and go out to the mound, and I said, Will, you crossed me up. I called for the slider, 2-3-1-3. And he said, oh, I guess I did. Well, sometimes those things work out, don't they? And I walked back to the mound. The umpire said, let's go. What's the problem? I said, you wouldn't understand it.
Yeah. Now, when a guy, this is the one thing I remember from listening to Joe Nuxall and it's now Marty Brennaman.
Yeah, used to be Jim McIntyre.
Jim McIntyre. Before that, it was, after that, it was Al Michaels.
Al Michaels.
This means nothing to anyone who doesn't live in the tri-state area, as they say, but great baseball listening. Anyway, a guy would be wild high when he was tired. They say, well, a fastball pitcher, if they're coming in high, he's tired. Is that true, or is that just something Joe would make up, the old left-hander rounding third and heading for home?
That's usually when their arm is trailing. They're not as their arm speed is a very important thing of getting the arm through while your legs are going through. So if they're high, their arm's dragging, they're dropping their elbow, they're not staying on top of the elbow. The elbow should stay up on top of the. I heard Tom Seaver say this. The elbow should stay on top above the shoulder. So yeah, I mean, there's times when they just don't have it. They lose it. And
is it up to you? Is it your responsibility to explain to the pitcher that he is now no longer effective because he's tired?
You try not to let him know that you're trying to get him out of there.
Yeah.
You have a signal with Sparky, and you sort of look at the pitcher and say, check the center fielder, and then when you do, Sparky, say. And so Sparky starts warming somebody up, and those were the old days before when Sparky was probably manager when you were coming down.
Yeah, yeah.
But, there's times when you have to go out there and say, look, are you all right? And they'll say, well, I'm a little tired. And then Sparky will come out, or whoever the manager is, like Russ Nixon will come out when I was catching, and say, is he okay? And I said, well, he's getting tired, and I think you ought to, make the change. And so we do it.
Who was the guy that you kept calling for the changeup or a changeup because his fastball had no heat on it, and then?
Well, Jerry will probably shoot me for saying. Jerry Rigo was a left-handed pitcher, and he had a real good curveball that particular day. We're playing in the daytime, playing the Dodgers, and he had just a mediocre fastball, and so I called curveball. Nobody's on base, so I called curveball. He goes, curveball. Curveball. And, I know the guy is going to hit his fastball. I mean, he can't get it over anyway. So finally, he finally shakes it off again. I put down fastball, and he throws it up and away. I'm just sitting there in a crouch, and he throws the fastball, and I reach out barehanded and catch it.
That's some heat, boy, when you can grab him with your...
He got the message.
That's embarrassing.
I've already eaten, thank you.
No, you know what this is about, don't you?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, you want to... Now, 7 is your record?
Yes, 7's...
do you feel up to it?
Sure.
I
haven't done anything today with my hands.
Okay, see what you can do.
I guess this is supposed to be for the vaudeville.
That's right. Yeah, see, now when you're done playing, you can go out on tour and do this.
Yes, we are supposedly going to put 7 of these balls in my hand.
I can remember at one time it was 7 baseballs. Imagine the possibilities. That's what they remember that?
Well, I think it was a 36C at that time. It was. We are.
Now, how many you got there? You got.
I'm not
6.
sure. But we got some rub down balls with looks like some mascara here. Who's working back there in the back anyway?
What do you need on there? Some of that mud? I saw Pedro, I don't know if I can say this, I saw Pedro Bourbon strangle a teammate in the dugout one night.
In Cincinnati?
No, this was Indianapolis,
that was,
AAA ball.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Well, let's see, that's only...
you got 6 there, that's only half a dozen.
Yeah, we may be here for a while, but the other one goes over here anyway, and we get the...
Good hands, no stick. We'll be right back, folks.